If your last year in real estate didn't go quite as planned, I need you to do two quick things. First, I need you to understand that if nothing changes, you're going to be in the exact same place 12 months from now, which is not what I want for you. The second thing you're going to do is to sit tight, just take a step back, take a deep breath, and watch this video till the end, and listen to the 5 important steps I'm going to explain to you. This video will be the catalyst to you having the kind of business you want and frankly what you deserve. But if you skip this video, I can almost guarantee that you're going to be right where you are now in 12 months. So let's dive into how to completely change the trajectory of your business by adhering to these 5 simple steps. Hi, I'm Shelly O'Neill, and I'm here because I'm really growing my following of agents. I'm committed to helping as many agents as I can reach to realize that they have the power to change their business, their lives, and the lives of the clients they're able to help. By utilizing these 5 steps and by following my other videos, you can change the trajectory of your business and really come out on top this year and on into the years to come. Everyone gets into real estate with passion and excitement. They want to change their lives. They want to change their families' lives. And I see so many people who are just not where they want to be. If you haven't made some significant changes this year, next year isn't going to be any better. So let's dive in and learn these 5 things that will completely change your business and help you become a top producer in the next 12 months. Now, this first thing here, it's pretty basic, but the other 4 are going to be incredibly important. So just sit tight with me as we go through this because I'm going to make it as simple and clear as possible. Number 1, just don't give up. But you need to really understand that things really need to change. What got you here will not get you there. It will not get you to where you want to go. And this is one thing I commonly see with agents as they come to the end of the year. They get all excited about the new year, but then they just keep doing the same things they did last year. And what happens is nothing changes, so they end up getting the same results. Even if they're putting more time into their business, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to yield more deals. So I want you to really understand that we need to do things differently, and that's what the rest of this video is going to show you. What these other exercises are going to be, because it's not that you're not capable of becoming a top producer, you are. Becoming a strong agent or breaking into luxury, it usually comes down to not doing the right activities, not doing them properly, or a combination of these things, as well as time management and most importantly, your mindset. We're going to break all of this down, but the most important thing is don't give up. You worked hard to get your license, and this is a phenomenal business to be in. You can do this. I've seen agents go from 2 or 3 deals a year to really crushing it and having amazing years, so you can absolutely do this too. Now, let's get into the details that are going to help you to move the needle forward. Number 2, and this is huge and maybe should be number 1, go back and audit everything. I mean, everything you're doing. You need to understand the concept that what gets measured, it gets managed. This is why so many agents fail every year, because they have no clue where their business is actually coming from. And in turn, they don't know how to manage that to the fullest extent. When you really go through and take a deep dive and figure out where the deals in the last year actually came from, you can focus more of your time, money, and energy in those areas. Get rid of time and money spent on the things that are not yielding a return, and you'll see your business increase exponentially. I do this audit with many agents in my organization, and I've seen some huge results. You really need to understand where your clients are coming from. Are they coming primarily from Facebook ads, from Instagram, from referrals, repeat clients? What that's going to do is show you where your bread and butter is. Figure out how you need to double down, where you need to really focus, because the mistakes that agents make, and I see it all the time, is that they believe they need to go wider, do more things, more platforms, more marketing initiatives. They hear what other agents are doing and they think, oh, I need to do that too. When in actuality, they just need to go deeper and zero in on where their business is actually coming from. I'm a multi-million-dollar producer, and my main source of business is referrals and repeat. So I double down on what I'm doing there, on more interaction, more engagement, because that brings me about 80% of my business. And the rest is organic from Facebook, paid Google ads, and other platforms. So if most of your business is coming from referrals and repeat business, then okay, how can you get better at nurturing your database? How can you get better at making sure you keep receiving those? If it's online advertising, okay, you're doing great with a certain advertising platform. That's awesome. What can you do to convert at a higher rate with a lower cost per lead? Because what you'll see is that the agents who are absolutely crushing it are masters at one specific thing. And of course, they have other things that complement that. They're not just doing one specific thing, but there's always one bread and butter, and we need to identify that. Now, the second aspect of that is not just looking at what you're doing, but how you're doing it. Because one thing I see is agents say they're cold calling, and some coach along the way told them, you need to go and make 300 phone calls today, and every day you need to do your 300 phone calls. Well, let me break that down. The reason that I did well with that in the beginning, I did door knocking, so I wasn't cold calling, but same concept. The thing is, I didn't go with a specific number in mind, like I'm gonna go knock 100 doors today. I did it in between drop off and pick up at my girls' school and lacrosse practice and cheerleading practice. And if I got to talking with someone while I was door knocking, I'd stay there and I'd talk to them and get their info. I wouldn't say, oh, Mr. Door, I need to move on. I have to knock 50 more doors before I pick up my kids. This is why it's not about what you do, but how you do it. It's like when people have been going to the gym and doing the exact same thing for 2 years and they don't see any difference. But you can also see the other people who are going completely to the point of exhaustion and failure every single day, and they look completely different in 6 months. Because it's not just that you're going to the gym, it's that you're actually showing up for yourself at the gym. And prospecting is the exact same. If you're just looking at numbers and just being able to get to the end of the day and say, yay, okay, I made my 300 calls, I knocked my 100 doors, or worse, you get that first rejection and you quit, it's the same with video. Yeah, it's awesome that you're doing video and you're putting out content, but if you're not strategic in how you're showing up with the content you're shooting, if you're not watching other people and shadowing what they're doing, of course you're not going to have great results. So you need to show up every day and not just do the activities, but how intentional are you when you're doing those activities? That's going to be the real game changer, and you'll see it. You'll really understand it. The next thing you need to audit is your time, and this is a huge obstacle I see for most agents. Being busy is different than being productive. There are plenty of agents that are busy, right? They're doing 8, 10, 12-hour days with stuff. And come on, we know there's a lot of stuff for agents to do all day, but you have to be doing the right things, the right stuff. People are just filling their day just to say, oh yeah, I worked all day, but they aren't focusing on income producing activities. And what I do every day, I do this first thing every morning. I have a list. I have a printout and I make a list. It has my gratitudes on it and also what I'm planning to get done that day. If you'd like a copy of that, I'm happy to send it to you. Just drop a comment below and I'll send it right over to you. But it's important and it's great feeling to be able to check off the things as you go, and at the end of the day, you can actually see what you've accomplished. I promise if you implement just this one thing, you're going to see a huge difference in your day in and day out business. So I write out the top 5 income producing activities that I must get done that day to move the needle forward in my business. I promise you, if you do that every day for 100 days, you will see significant positive changes in your business. And this is not cleaning the house, doing the laundry, going grocery shopping. This is, 3 hours of prospecting, recording a month's worth of videos, recording a week's worth of reels, doing an hour of follow-up. And when you do these activities, the number one most important thing you need to do is put your phone away. I have my phone set on do not disturb. Sometimes I'll even put it in a drawer. And I also I have a cube timer on my desk so that my mind knows this is the time to focus on this activity. All of these are activities that will ensure that your business moves forward. But a lot of agents are simply not doing these small things. They're filling their day by doing really low income producing activities like designing thumbnails on Canva, designing their new business cards. And I'm not saying those things aren't important, but they're basically doing below minimum wage activities. And when they wonder why they aren't making sales, they're not making money, this is why they aren't where they want to be in their business. And the last thing you need to audit is, who are you surrounding yourself with? And this is an incredibly important one, because a rising tide rises all ships, right? If you're at a brokerage right now, or you're on a team where everyone is not putting out content, not doing income producing activities, and not trying to build massive businesses, if they're not supporting you and giving you the best training and resources, and if frankly they're jealous that you're trying to build what they can't or won't build, those are not your people. You don't want to be a product of that kind of environment. Now, I see a lot of agents who join a group like ours at the Agent Collective, and they completely change the whole trajectory of their business because they're surrounded with like-minded agents who are growing massive businesses, and they're offering their own playbooks and offering massive feedback and encouragement and resources. And it's not only changing the trajectory of their business, but of their lives and their health and their happiness and relationships, because we focus on all of that over here. But that's also because we're like a family, like a group that we all just want to help each other, not like you see at a traditional brokerage where the top agents aren't sharing any of their information because it creates competition within the same brokerage. So you need to audit, who are you surrounding yourself with? And are those people actually giving you the support you need to take your business from where it is now to where you want it to go? Step number 3, you need to create a new business plan. This is so important, and I have a great one that I'm happy to send you. Just also comment below and type business plan, and I'll send it right over to you. It's very intentional, and you really need to break down those short-term, long-term, and lifetime goals, and this will help you to do that. Let me briefly explain how I approach it. Once I do all of my audits and I can say, okay, here's where my time is being lost. And for me and most people, it's right on your phone. I just have it on Do Not Disturb, like I said, so I don't get notifications all the time from Facebook and Instagram, and I got another email or whatever it is. So use social media as a tool, not a toy. Be a creator, not just a consumer. It is important to also consume, but not too much, and only in the way that it benefits your larger goals. It's okay to have some entertainment, but be intentional. You want to reverse engineer your goals. Once we identify what is working and what is not and what's missing, right? Because most people are missing video, most people are not nurturing their sphere, most people don't use a CRM effectively or at all, most people don't have systems and processes in place. So once we identify what we need to do, now we need to build it into a plan. And the way I approach business plans is to create what I call the midterm goal, which is a 1-year goal. Then I break that down so I'm operating on a quarterly year. The 12-week year is how we all operate here. And if you haven't read that book, I highly recommend that you get it, because the worst thing people do is they start January 1st all excited for the new year with this excitement and passion. They're energetic and pumped up, ready to go for the new year. And then in March, they realize they just screwed off for 2 months. And many times they just go at the rest of their year haphazardly, or they just wait till next January to start again and reinvent themselves, having that same enthusiasm they had the previous January. That's why you need to be able to operate on a 12-week year to have 4 Januaries every single year. What that's going to do is say, okay, Q2 didn't go quite as well as I'd like. Q3, let's get back after it, get back to our business plan, take a step back, take a deep breath, slow down for a second, and then just go in with momentum. And then it's important to be able to reverse engineer your quarterly goals into weekly and daily goals. And it's so important to have a plan in place, because by failing to plan, you plan to fail, right? And too many people just do not have structure, and that's why they're failing in their business. Number 4, you need to identify what your weaknesses are. That is foundational for scaling. This is incredibly important because it's human nature to try and turn a blind eye to your weaknesses, like saying, I'm not good at video, so I'm going to try to overcompensate by doing this. Or, hey, I don't want to learn to use a CRM, so I'm just going to overcompensate by volume of lead calls. But what you'll find is that by ignoring these foundational pillar skills that you need in order to build a successful, scalable, predictable, thriving real estate business is you just won't build one. I've never seen a top producing real estate agent that does not properly leverage their sphere. I've also never seen a top producing agent that does not adapt to the current market trends of what they need to do in order to get in front of customers, like video, like short form content, Reels, TikTok, YouTube Shorts. The ones who win are the ones most willing to adapt. It's not the ones with the biggest budget, it's not the ones with the most experience. It's the ones most willing to adapt. So if you start to utilize these new skills, this is what's going to allow you to move the needle of your business forward every day and staying one step ahead of your competition. But you need to identify these, because if you're not getting in front of the camera, newsflash, video is not going away, and you need to be able to get in front of consumers the way they want to consume information. And right now, at this time, it's video. So you need to get out of your head and stop with these limiting beliefs and self-sabotaging behaviors and say, you know, I've been messing around and screwing off. I keep saying I'm not going to do video, it's not for me, but now I realize I need to start. And you can start where you are. Take 1 month and start. Get comfortable in front of the camera. Then maybe you haven't mastered a CRM. Take 1 month and do that. Master whatever CRM you decide to use and just do it repetitively with new skills. And give it your undivided attention till the end of the month. And within a few months, you've completely transformed your business. And you'll have a proper foundation to build and scale off of going forward. And number 5 is commit to the process for at least 12 months. The number one thing I see agents do is they come into the new year and they're really excited about YouTube. They're pumped and ready to crush it. They do it for 2 or 3 months. They don't get a client and they stop. Then they say, okay, it's got to be TikTok. So they do the same thing and no client after 3 months, so they stop. And they go to Instagram Reels and they're constantly chasing the new shiny penny. But what you need to understand is that if you commit to a process that's been proven to work by many other people, whether it be cold calling, door knocking, videos, holding events, whatever, as long as you commit to doing it consistently and are actively trying to improve for 12 months, your business will completely change. The people who can create the longest reward delay and have the longest time horizon for when they expect to see results from the input they're putting in are the ones who win. So when I started doing videos, I hated it. I was awful. I hated the way I looked on camera. I hated how I sounded, but I told myself that I wasn't going to quit once I started, that I was going to do this until the end of my career, until I decide to retire. And I'll keep doing it. And it's led me to really amazing things. I also know agents who've done that with cold calling, with working their sphere, along with events. So bottom line is that you need to commit to the process, because people are succeeding every which way. It's just that if you're not seeing the results you're expecting from doing these activities, you're just not doing them enough, or you're just not giving it enough time to work. That's really, I think, the biggest thing. So after you get your business plan dialed in, once you identify what you need to improve on, where you need to focus, what you need to introduce, what you need to cut out, you need to commit to this process and don't chase new shiny pennies. It's really easy to do that, so you've got to focus. So follow the plan for the next 12 months, and 12 months from now, when your business has doubled or tripled or even quadrupled, then go introduce new things. But don't introduce anything new aside from what's in your business plan for the next 12 months. Be consistent, be relentless, Go all in and stay committed, because we've seen it work time and time again. And if you want to partner with me and get my personal direct help with this, you can book a meeting with me in the comments below. I hope you found this helpful. I want to see you win. I want to see you happy and crushing it. That's why I put out this content, and more is always coming. So stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next video.